Hello, everyone. Hello, beautiful souls. Let's see. Make sure you get a good view. All right, so it's raining a little bit, so I don't know if you're going to be able to hear the sound of the rain. It's beautiful, but I just want to do this live to go over, expand a little more on. I think we got disconnected when we did the workshop, the mediumship workshop. So I wanted to make sure that I go over some more information about how to connect and ask questions. I had some people see the live videos on YouTube and they had more questions about how to connect with the spirits that they were coming, how to discern the energy a little better. I think they wanted to hear more about that. So that's why I'm going to do this live here. If you jump in, leave your question in the chat area and I'll get to it. I hope to do this for maybe about 20 to 30 minutes today. So it won't be a long live, but I do want to go over very important things that I think will help you, that will benefit you in order for you to start working with spirit more and to know how to discern energy, pay attention to what's going on so that you can start developing these gifts that you have. So in the last live, we talked about the difference between mediumship and channeling, and talking about spirits, how they talk to you, how far they sound. We also kind of mentioned like if it's coming from inside of you or outside of you, but I want to take that a little further, a little deeper, in order for me to give you some more insights about how to go about this. So let me just do something real quick. I gotta pull some of my notes just to make sure that I'm good. Okay. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I'm not sure why I'm having issues with my. I think it's because. Why did I pull? Okay. So let me just take a couple of seconds here. Okay. This is interesting. I think I'm just gonna go and make sure that let me just start. And if I miss anything that I don't know where my notes went. But the first thing that I wanted to clarify is the spirit might not give you the name. And I think we did the pick a card because, well, I know I did the pick a card because I was asked to do the pick a card to help some people understand how they might be dealing with not having the name. Some people might were a little confused and they were like, well, how do I know that is a positive energy if they don't want to give me the name? Because what I want to clarify is when we don't get the name, and we'll go and discuss that even further, but I was referring mostly to disembodied energies that might want to trick you by not giving you a name. Let's say you're having operation or you hear something and you're not sure, it's coming out of nowhere, you're not sure what's going on, you might be dealing with a disembodied energy. But it can also be a spirit guide, or it could be a spirit that is in your spirit team. So it's not like you're going to send them away just because you're afraid. You have to learn how to register the energy within your body field, which is why we need to learn how to discern our emotions so that we can learn to discern other humans, so that we can learn to discern spirit. So there is a process to this, and a lot of people don't think about this, but there is a process. And that part that I was talking about, when sometimes you hear a very far voice and it's very far and they might be calling your name, um, you might want to pay attention to that, because a lot of the time it could be energies that are trying to establish a relationship with you that don't belong in your immediate energy field. But sometimes it could be someone calling your attention if you're doing something inappropriate. So there is a difference. It could be one of your spirit in calling you because they need to call your attention. But let's say you just out of nowhere you hear this voice and it sounds far and something is off. You don't, you ask yourself quickly, why did I hear this? And the first thing that it comes is a negative reaction. Then you might be dealing with something in the left planes. But if you're like, that's interesting, what's going on? Then it might be just you tapping into your gift so that you can start developing those gifts. So I don't want people to freak out. I did have quite a few emails of people freaking out, like, oh my god. So that's why I'm doing this live, so we can clarify some things, and hopefully there is not a straight answer. Let me just say that there is not a straight answer. And you might think that um, you're going to get a book and get all the answers. Yeah, there are a lot of books. I haven't read those books on mediumship or anything like that, but I know that you probably can go on Google or Amazon and find 500 books probably. But the thing is that if you don't know how to discern energy, it doesn't matter how many books you read, because you have to start practicing. So anyways, sometimes the spirit will not give you the name and will not talk to you. It will just look at you. It might be trying to discern your energy. The spirit might be trying to see how are you truly understanding how to go into the spirit dimension. Because when you have an operation like that, a lot of the time those energies will have to use a lot of electricity to manifest in your plane. But if you're meditating, it's most likely that you are in the spirit plane, you're in the higher plane. So that's you crossing over. If they're crossing over to you, there is a difference where they have to use some sort of energy, whether it is from you or somebody else, or moving energy through the lines or something like that. So there is a difference from them coming to you and you going to them. I hope that is clear, because a lot of people might think, okay, well, I was meditating and this is what happened. Well, that's because you went into the spirit dimension. It's not necessarily that they came over for you. So once you start going into the spirit dimension, then you really need to know how to discern energy, so that you know you got to go there with an intention. So you don't want to just, and always protection, always asking for your spirit team to protect you, because once you cross over, you don't know where you're going to end up. You don't know what you find. So you have to make sure that it makes sense, that what you're doing is making sense, that you take it as a process. You should always have a notebook with all of your um, situations, meditations, dreams, channeling, because you want to keep track of what's going on so you can see your progress. But you can also start putting clues together. Okay, when I see this, this is what it means. When I see that, potentially this is the answer. So you start building clues in your head, so when you cross over to the spirit dimension, that you're making progress and that you can navigate through it more quickly, effectively, not quickly, effectively, because there is no need to rush, right? um, so the spirit not giving you the name doesn't necessarily mean that that is an evil spirit. What it means is that you might need to amp your gain. You might, let me give you an example. Like if you hear a voice that is very far, it might be an energy that is disembodied, that has transition, that may have good or bad intentions. We don't know. You don't know, right? If you just hear the name. But what I'm saying is, if you hear the name and you're like, yes, what's going on? And you don't really ask the questions to know if it is an energy that is coming for you highest good. That's why you need to ask the name. If you don't get the name, you keep asking the name. And if you are still in this thing, you can ask, what is your purpose for coming now? Your intentions for coming, right? Because you want to know. Also, if it's a trickster spirit, it's going to give you, like, let me give you an example of a trickster energy. I was doing work on someone, and I'm doing the work, the person is gone, and I am sitting there like trying to cleanse my aura and all of that, and I see this energy and it's kind of laughing at me, like, like trying to be jokingly with me, like a jokester. And I got really upset with this energy because immediately I knew it wasn't coming for the highest good. It was coming because it filtered through with the amount of energy that we were using, it was able to manifest itself. So sometimes they laugh in a very weird way. They might look in a weird way. Most of the spirits that are in your spirit team are going to know you, and they're going to know you how to interact with you without scaring you. There are some exceptions to that, of course, but most of them are not going to start laughing like crazy, or they're not going to start looking at you like they're trying to, like a serial killer. You know, those type of um, energies that those people give, those energies that manifest themselves will be able to show, right? So what I'm saying is you have to know how to read. That's why a lot of people that are very spiritual, they love TV episodes and movies that are in this same arena, because we are basically learning, okay, when they do and your brain is registering information that, believe it or not, you might think is not useful, but it's giving you a training. For example, if you like, I don't know, some of those ghost TV shows or something like that, and you see the negative energies when they come, they always are very, whether they're very confrontational or they're very psycho looking, energy feeling, even you're just on the this side of the TV, but you're feeling the energy, and they laugh like they're crazy. They might look like they're crazy. So there is a lot that you can perceive just by hearing the name and how they say it, and are they smiling or laughing, or are they very serious? So you can pull information just from that, right? So that's what I'm saying. We have to learn to discern humans, our emotions first, then the emotions of other humans, emotions of animals, and when we go into the spiriting, we can become better at discerning energy because we have done some of the process work in order for us to really get it right. Like, and it is a process. It doesn't mean that you're going to graduate. I don't think we ever graduate. Yes, Darlene, it's like Ghost Whisper and Charm, those type of shows that are sometimes silly, sometimes fun, or just to get your mind off. But sometimes you pick up really good things from discerning the energies of what they're working with, right? I know I've seen some of the TV shows where even in the dream state, it was used to put two and two together. So like a TV show that I watch, and then in the dream state, days or I don't know, days or weeks later or the same night, something will happen in the dream state that is like, okay, this is what happens. When you see this is this. Like when I was learning to read tarot, I was going through lessons in the dream state, and I didn't know how to read tarot, and I didn't know how to, I didn't take a class or anything, but every night I will be giving images and things and the name and everything. And then in the morning I will wake up and put the main thing of the dream. And then I will put it on the tarot. I don't really use these tarot cards as much as I should. There is a, like, even when I feel it, there is a lot of energy in the cards, because through the process of my training, I put the notes of what was happening in the dreams with the different energies and the different teachings, and I put it in the dream, in the cards. When I woke up in the middle of the night, I will wake up and put my notes so I wouldn't forget. So, anyways, my point is we have to learn to discern energy, because if you freak out, let's say an energy comes forward and is trying to give you a message, most of the time they wouldn't call you your name, but there is something about that. Even the elders and the grandparents will say, you know, somebody calls you, you don't know who's calling you, you don't answer, you don't say yes, you don't say how can I help you, or but there is more to that that we can understand if we really want to analyze that, because it's almost like when somebody's calling your name, they're trying to figure out if you can hear them, and if you can hear them, And with the light that you emit with your auric field, they know that you have some special abilities that are already activated. So they will um, be able to communicate faster with you. You know what happened to me once? When I was going through my development, I had a list of beings that were waiting for me to help them. And I remember feeling like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like I cannot deal with this many people. And I had to like, I was like screaming, like, stop, stop, stop. Because it was too many of them. And I was like, I don't know how to do this. Like I was in training. And I remember being so overwhelmed because they see you light and they know that you can help them. But what they don't know is that you might not be fully trained yet. That there is a waiting list. Like, you might be going through your development. So you have to know to take it easy. You cannot overdo it because then you end up crazy like me, where you just constantly going and you need to take time to recharge, right? So my point about the name situation is because it freaked out a few people, and I want to truly expand on this, that it doesn't mean that it's a bad energy. It doesn't mean anything. You have to give it meaning. You will know, only you will know the true meaning depending on what happened before and what happened after. What have you been dealing with for the last couple of days? What thoughts are coming to mind? Are you having a lot of negative thoughts, or are you just going through some type of training? Are you learning to discern energy? So when those energies are coming, that you say, I'm not ready to deal with you because I don't know how to send you to where you belong, but that's it. You don't have to do anything else. You just got to sending away from your auric field because you're not ready to deal with them, right? So sometimes also the spirit guides will not give you a name. Let's move over to the spirit guide. They will not give you a name. Sometimes this is going to blow your mind for some of you, because sometimes the spirit guides want to see how much are you going through, how I progress are you making to understand how to discern energy, but also to understand how to see the essence of the energy. Yes, a spirit guide might look like any of these beings, but when you really look into the soul and you zoom in, you can see much more than just one aspect of the energy. And that's when you really start learning to truly discern energy, the true source of energy. So there might be in okay, we all have been here. We all, most of us, they're only a very small percentage that is they're only here for the first time, right? So we all have been here. We all have died. We have transition, and we have come back. But in the spirit dimension, there are part of us that is there, right? And it is very complicated, and I don't have all the answers, but what I see when I go into trance, oh my goodness, and that Arturian just started moving. I don't know if whoa. So okay, when I go into trance, I go in and I can see the essence of the energy, right? But what happens is sometimes we don't get a lot of information because it is energy in the astral planes. It might be an energy part of you that is in the higher planes. And you have to give a meaning, because you have to be able to tap into the vibration of that energy to give it a name. So sometimes you will not get a name. And I'll give you more examples of why you wouldn't get a name, because I know a lot of people are going to be like, what? And I'll give you more example. With the name, what comes with the name? If you really want to think about it, when we have a baby, we give it a name. We train the baby to learn the name, to learn that that is his name. Sometimes we of course we do the same thing with our animals, the little ones that we love so much, like our babies. And we call that dog or cat a specific name, or a bird that you might have, or some type of a snake or something else. And it can interact with you. You might not be able to understand what it's saying, but when you call it, it comes to you, right? There is when you call that name, you give it a frequency. For example, when I want to be nice to my baby, oh, little Hunter, little Hunter. But when I'm upset with Hunter, I say, Hunter. So he knows he did something wrong. And he knows, okay? But it's the same thing. The baby knows. If you call the baby, oh, little, I don't know, Ramon. Oh, my little precious Ramon, Ramon. But if you say Ramon, then you know the mother is upset and the baby behaves a different way, right? So there is a vibration, a frequency that we send down when we call that person. So when we invoke the energies, we also use their name that they have given us to use for them, or that we have given because they haven't given us a name yet. But with the heart and the mind, we tap into the frequency so that when we're calling and you're concentrating on that energy and how it makes you feel and the faith. If you don't have faith, it doesn't work. And you're calling and you do your prayers and you call, you are going to get that energy to come forward, because with your mind and the picture of that energy and the name or whatever thing you're feeling with your faith, you're calling that energy forward. But sometimes they will not give you a name because they want to see what frequency you can tap into to remember who they are. And sometimes they will just say, what is the name that you prefer? And then your higher self might say, it will be easy for them to call them, I don't know, Jones or something like that. So that is the name that you hear, because sometimes the spirit guides have names that are from other planets, from very ancient human creation, and they don't have a name that we understand with this updated language. So it might be something that it sounds like, I don't know, like Wakasu or something like that, right? And then a person will be like, what type of name is that really? So your higher self might translate that to Wasu, but the real vibration of the name, it might be Wakasu. For you, might be Wasu, because that's what your brain can comprehend. So you have to really tap into the vibration of the energy, the spirit guide that comes forward, in order for you to understand what does it mean for you. And you have to meditate on this. This is not something that you should just take it for granted. You have to meditate. What do you feel when you tap with that energy? What do you feel when you pronounce the name? When you ask the spirit energy, the spirit guide for his name, close your eyes and let it come. Maybe the higher self will give you a more complicated name because you are truly doing the effort to tap into that energy, right? But if you're in a rush, what is the name? What is the name? Give me the name. Why can't you give me the name? This is so annoying. Everybody gets the name. I don't get the name. Then you're just pushing the name farther away. So you have to really lower your frustration, get rid of all of your frustration and senses to ask and receive the name. If you're in a rush, you're not going to get the name. It's almost like a disgrace, because the spirit guys, they have millions of people, and if they're chosen to come and work with you, is for a reason. So you have to honor the presence, and you have to honor their energy by working together in collaboration. It's not just one-sided. A lot of people, the spirit guide is there for me, for me, for me, for me, but what can you do for it? You have to show respect and acknowledgement, right? So the more that you do that, the more that you train yourself. For example, with some of the energies that I work, I will spend a lot of time going back and forward, meditating and intentionally dreaming about what they have experienced, what they have gone through, why they do this, why they do that, so that they can give me information that is deeper than just put water in a candle or some type of food in the altar. So you have to know how to dive deeper, and the deeper that you dive with every spirit guide, the stronger the connection. So when you call them, they can show up and manifest in a very quickly. I'm talking about even sometimes before you call them, because they know that you need them, right? And so you have to go through the process of intentionally working on developing that very powerful relationship that is unlike any other. Like the way that you work with a spirit guide, it might have the same name, but I'm going to work it differently and somebody else is going to work it differently because it depends on how deep we have developed a connection. And not all the, even if it has the same name, doesn't mean that they're going to work with you to do the same things. It might be completely different than what somebody else is used to doing with this energy. There's some energies that are so ancient that people don't, not even the elders know much about them. So you really have to dive deep, and your godparents, godmothers will not be able to teach you this because no one can. Only the spirit can teach you what they want to show you for your life path. It's all about that. It's about the purpose. Because if your purpose is different than mine, the way that they want to work with you is going to be different than the way they work with me. So the way that they're going to teach you to work with them is going to be different than the way that they tell me to communicate, to interact, to pray. Sometimes it's not prayers, it's just conversation. Sometimes it's about learning to go in and work from the throat energy so that you can truly develop a relationship with them. Sometimes it's from the heart to the throat in order for you to, when you're conversating with them, these things that you're saying become prayers, even though they're no prayers that you find in regular books, right? Like you're not gonna, some of these things that you talk to them, some of the things, the words that they give you to use to call them are words that normally are no use depending on your mission. Everybody's going to have a different mission. So the mission changes how the spirit guide works with you, somebody else, somebody else, somebody else, and somebody else. Yes, they're universal energies that you can work for. Just, like let's say you're not training this, you can call on any of the virgins, Ursula, or someone to help you with something, to fill you with love, release the trauma, and something like that. But when you're ready to work deep things and with clients, then you have to know deeper information about that they have given you to work with them specifically. So I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm not confusing anyone. Sometimes the energy wants to see just how much you respect and want to really develop this powerful relationship with them. So the name, it has to be a vibration. It's not just a name. uh, Also, a lot of the energies, a lot of the spirit guides that we may have, sometimes they're in the astrals. They haven't have a human experience. So when you ask for a name, they might not understand what you're saying exactly. They might not be truly understanding. But sometimes it is that the name is limiting to everything that they can do. So when you ask for a name, it's almost like you're not truly understanding that there's so much more than one. I don't know, let me give you an example. Like when people call um say Martha the Dominator, they're calling the Dominator, but she has other abilities. So if she gives you say Martha and you're only trained to work with the Dominator, you're going to think that that's the only thing that she can do, but that might not be the reason why she's coming forward for you. So if you call her, I don't know, if you call her mama or something like that, well, you're opening up to the opportunities of what it means to work with an energy of the mother archetype or some other energy. I'm just giving you an example, right? Like sometimes the name limits the potential of what limits for you, not for them, for you, for the human you that might put limitations because of the name. So sometimes they will not give you the name until you're ready, until you have expanded your mind, because now you're ready to receive the name. You have to go through a process before you receive the name, because when you get the name, it's almost like an activation. When you get the name, it's because you're ready to work with that energy. And okay, let me give you an example. Someone emailed me and say, I have, this person is in occult practice, and his dada, his godfather, said that he can put different things in his altar, but those energies have never come to this person. Well, that's a big problem. That's a big problem because you're now bringing energies that are not giving you permission yet to work with them. So I always tell people you need to start with the energies that are coming to you and to you only, not because your godfather or your godmother says so. Because sometimes you might have white table energies, right? But you're bringing in energies that are from the petrol or the black division, or energies that are very much aggressive and warrior like, where the white table energies are more benevolent and they don't want arguments, they want peace and quiet, contemplation. Very different energies than an aggressive energy that is ready to attack, protecting attack. Because if somebody's coming to hurt you, they're going to protect you by attacking, right? So that's a different energy than an energy that is much about the plants, Gaia, peace, working with the energies of nature and the spirit animals and the medicine of the spirit animals. Those are different energies. So if your elder is telling you, your godfather, your godmother, you're going to do this, this, and that, well, that's a big problem. If those energies haven't come to you, why? And even when they read you go to a consultation, right? And there is a ceremony that is done, and sometimes it's just a consultation, and you pay for a consultation to know some of the basic spirits that are working with you. I wouldn't even say to do that unless you're already receiving the names. You can get the names just for your confirmation, but let them come and tell you their name. Tell you, they let them come and come forward so that then okay, they have given me full permission to start working with them, to start getting to know them. It's not about asking. It's not about asking for, give me this, I need this, I need that. Please fix this. Please, I made a mess. Please fix this. Now I need this. Then that's not gonna work. You have to start working with them to know them. It's almost like if you meet someone, you don't ask them to move in the same day or the same month. Sometimes not even the first year, right? You develop a relationship. You start dating. Tell me your name. What do you do? What do you like? Tell me about your past. Tell me about your parents. But you don't say immediately, let's go and have sex, right? Let's go and move in. It's a relationship. You got to develop this relationship. You don't ask for the hand in marriage the first day that you meet these people. So it is the same, right? Like you have to develop a beautiful relationship of respect and integrity, understanding. Some people said adoring and loving, and I do love because I love everybody. I love them. I love the energy that I work with, but I'm not in love with them. Those are different things, right? I respect and admire them, and I question sometimes because I want to understand deeper things. So it's not that I do everything without asking, but some people are like, oh no, this spirit says that I cannot do this, and it's in this book, and that's it. I cannot do this. There is no way I'm gonna do this because it's the spirit have said before to these other people that wrote this book that they cannot do this. So I'm not going to do that. Well, that's a big problem because you're not learning to question and to integrate the messages and expand your mind. You cannot just do things because it's in a book or somebody says so. You got to ask. You got to ask in order for you to really get the real answers. You see what I'm saying? There is a difference there. Anyway, so when you think of when you think let me give you another example because I think a lot of people might get tripped with the whole name thing. Sometimes the name comes out and you want it to be an ancient spirit. So you're waiting for a weird name, something that sounds ancient, interesting, mysterious, and then you get Jimmy. Like, what? This this happens sometimes because maybe Jimmy brings an energy that is more laid back, is more fun, it's going to come and help you with something that you need to, maybe you're too serious, maybe you take things to the next level. I'll tell you one time when I saw Shango in a trance, Shango came to say, I need to take it, I need to take it easy, enjoy the process. I was like, let's work, let's work. And Shango comes and says, enjoy the process. So he came more fun, like a more fun energy. But if I didn't know that that was Shango and I didn't understand that that was Shango, I would have thought that it was somebody else because honestly, I was like, what? Like we're here to do the work. But he was like, no, you need to also enjoy the process. And Shango brings that divine feminine masculine energy into power. So you when you're around him and you feel his energy, something is amazing around you because he brings that energy, right? But he came just to tell me I need to chill. I'm taking life too seriously. That was a couple of years ago, but probably come and say the same thing. Anyways, the point is sometimes we get names that sound normal and you wonder why. So you do have to go through that process of understanding why maybe that energy is coming with that name, with that vibration. There is always a vibration in those names. So you need to investigate, meditate, contemplate on why it's coming that way. Some some elevated spirits might try to communicate with you, and you feel the buzzing in your ears, you cannot hear them properly. Maybe you're not really raising your vibration. They might be trying to call your attention. So you really have to pay attention to what you're doing. What are you thinking? Some energies will come and truly bother the crap out of you, and you don't know that it's an energy outside of you because you might be doing something that is feeding them, and they want to continue to feed from you. So they're gonna um, induce you to do something that you shouldn't be doing. For example, if you get angry very easily, that you might have energies that are attached to you, that are always around you, coming off them because they love the fact that you give them energy when you're very angry. Whether it is an obsession of I don't know, anger, envy, greed, alcohol, any addictions, lying, narcissistic behaviors, hopelessness might be a big problem. The physical and the spiritual ego might be other problems where people might think um, those qualities are just, for the Catholics, the sins that they. No, but these are real problems that people are very addicted to, whether they know it or no. Feeling unworthy might be another one where you feel like I'm not worthy of anything. I am hopeless. I am this because you're calling in those energies that when they were here in this plane, they had the same challenges. And what you're doing is that you might be giving them part of that energy. So in exchange, they also continue to make you feel the same way so that you can continue feed them. Ignorance is another one. Like people don't understand that. Then having their mind closed off is a big problem because you're not expanding your mind. You allow yourself to be easily manipulated by entities. Any of the behaviors that can be negative, that you can think that can be shadow or negatives, can be energies that are feeding astral energies that are in the astral planes. So you have to go through the process of registering your vibration. A lot of people are going to be like, why she keeps talking about the vibration and the auric and pranic field and these light bodies? But it's because the light body holds a lot of information. When it's not very bright and it's dim, it's smudgy, those are, think of your body as the cosmos. And when it is like this, it's almost like there are punctures, and through those punctures, energies can come and give you thoughts and ideas that you think is you, but it's actually an outside energy that is preventing you from keeping your vibration high so that they can get in. Because if your vibration is high, it's almost like a reflective field that don't let them get through. But if your vibration is low, it's almost like you open the door. There was a TV show in Spanish. I don't know if some of you guys that speak Spanish, the Don Francisco, and there was a guy that used to come, like he was like I think his name was like Yacal, El Yacal or something like that, and he would come and like open up his code and be like, "Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee." Well, that's what it reminds me of. Like when we allow the vibration to be low, we're putting doubts. We might be having issues with, worthiness, feeling hopeless, feeling lonely is a big one, angry, envious of other people and their situations, feeling lonely sexually and emotionally, doing a lot of drugs and alcohol, whether, sometimes it's pride, this physical ego and spiritual ego. Sometimes it's lies here and there, but you shouldn't be lying. So it's just snowballing and snowball, right? So those are opportunity, those are doors where you open the doors and you say, I am here, come eat from me. So it becomes truly it becomes a problem because you're just given the opportunity for low vibration energies. They might not be very dark, they might be just low vibration, and to keep existing they have to continue to eat from those that are vulnerable. So just something for you to consider. Let me see if I can catch up with some of the comments before I continue. Oh, Lenny's, thank you, you're sharing. Sorry, let me see if I can see this. If you have any question, please put it in the chat so I can go through it now. Okay, it says thank you for sharing, great info. I'm learning to control flying. Like, oh, that's cool. Astral projection. Yes, I love that. Yeah, the Latimer is something else, right? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, it's all about the frequency. Ashley says, oh, I have made it alive. So much love, peace, and blessing. Thank you. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna continue real quick because I just want to get through this and be done. There is something, please don't leave or come back, because there is something that I'm gonna give you that I don't know if you're gonna be able to find this anywhere else. This is information that I channeled a while back when I was going through some things, and I want to give you this before we finish today. And I'm also going to touch on something else about the hypnosis. A person wrote to me and said one of my elders, that his godfather, is telling him not to do hypnosis because it's dangerous. And we'll talk about that, because I have mentioned this before, and I don't think people understand that it's true. There are some things that we need to do to make sure that it's a safe place. So I'll touch base on that very quickly at the end. Anyway, so let's see what else. I think I lost my train of thought. Oh my god. Yeah, I completely lost my, my train of thought. So anyway, so with when you're hearing something that you don't know, that you don't understand if it's positive or negative, I want you to register quickly. How do you feel in that moment? How do you feel? How do you close your eyes? Let's say you hear something. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me tell you a story. I have to tell you this story because I always laugh when I talk about this moment, because I was going through a lot of training, and we're always going to training, okay? Always. It doesn't end. So I'm going to training, and I'm like, okay, let me meditate, and I'm getting ready for my meditation, and I close my eyes. Within 1-2 seconds, I hear boo. I was so upset. I'm like, boo. And I'm like, oh my God, like, why? Why did you do that to me? It was my higher self. And I knew it was my higher self. But it bothered me because my higher self thought that they were being funny. But in that moment, I had finished a week of a lot of intense fighting for other people, doing work for other people. And I'm like, okay, today is all about me. And the moment that it said boo, I was like furious. I got up and I was upset. And I'm fighting with my higher self. Like, it happens, okay? Yes, we lose it, it happens. So we really have to learn, is the voice coming inside of us or outside of us? If it's inside of us, it's the higher self talking to us. And yes, you might have more than one higher self. Sometimes It might be an energy that is coming through your higher self as a spirit guide, because normally those energies don't come to this lower plane. So they will transmit information through the higher self. Does that make sense? Like, very highly elevated energies are not going to come down to the lower planes. That's like, why would they do that? Like, oh my God, that's so lame. Well, they will send the information through the higher self. So you will still hear it here. But sometimes the spirit guides that are able to, and all of them can go through different planes, right? Through the spirit dimension, but there's some very elevated spirits that will not go down anything below 5. They will not go, they will not bother with it, so they will dispatch information through the higher self. When you hear a spirit guide that is in the 5C 7D, or they can go through the spirit dimension, you can find them in the spirit dimension, you can find them in the astral plane, but you can talk to them and hear them, but you hear them almost as if you're having a conversation with somebody else, even though you telepathically picking up the information and it's coming to you. You know it's not you, it's outside of you. Does that make sense? Like, the higher self communication is different than a spirit guide communication where you're telepathically receiving and projecting information. The higher self is going to feel more like you. So in order for you to train yourself to know, is this me or the higher self, then you go through a process. At the beginning it's easy, because at the beginning, I wouldn't have come up with the answer. The answer always gets us at the beginning, because we're training ourselves to communicate with the higher self. So we train ourselves to be surprised with the answer. But as we develop an intimate relationship with the higher self, the answers becomes more like us talking, and we're channeling information from our higher self always, and we don't realize that we're doing that, because it's very seamless. Where at the beginning there is a lot of hmm, and there is a difference. I hope that makes sense, right? Like, I think you get it. um I want to talk about the different schools that you go to, the different trainings that you go through in the higher planes, because a lot of people were confused with this as well, and I didn't really talk about this before. So this is the first time that I'll be talking about the different schools. So please open your mind to this. I know this is going to sound a little crazy. I want you to open your mind to this. Let me, before I go into the school, I want to do a quick example, because something is coming to mind right now. One time I was at a grocery store, it's supermarket, and I go to the supermarket. I used to go there often to pick up different exotic mushrooms for the restaurant. And one day I see these energies, this energy one behind this male, and he looked like this, and he was almost on his shoulder, but he was walking alongside, like flowing through next to this person, walking side by side. And I'm like, did I just see that? Why did I just see this? Like, what's going on here? And I'm trying to avoid the guy, because I'm like, I don't want to carry this with me, or like, like I thought it was just insane. I start making the line to pay, to cash out, and this guy comes right behind me, and the energy is talking to me telepathically, telling me, "You see me, right?" And I'm responding with my mind, "Yes, I see you. Why are you with him?" And he said, "Well, he's an easy one." And then he showed me how he manipulates him. Like, he talks to his ears, like, but the guy probably doesn't know that it's outside of him, right? So at nighttime, I meditate. I finish my day. I finish my whole work day at the restaurant, and I go home and meditate. I normally meditate for at least an hour. So at that point, I think I was doing hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours, just to make sure that I was leaving some things behind. So I'm meditating for an hour and 30 minutes or something like that before I go to sleep. And in this in this day, I receive information about why this energy, because I asked why, what was the point of that? I couldn't handle him at that point, because I was getting ready for my work day. and I wasn't gonna do that in public. People were gonna think I was crazy. So it was just a training to show me how these energies, and I seen it before, but I thought it was fascinating because it's one thing to see it and to get used to it, but sometimes you forget, so you get a reminder, and it was almost like a reminder. You're forgetting that this is why a lot of people are having so many thoughts about things that are not for the highest good, because they're being influenced by these entities. And that's why, because I was also questioning, what do I do next? And I think it was part of my decision making of like, what do I do, what do I end up doing next to deal with this, because there is a reason why I'm experiencing all of this, right? Like, do I just take it easy and do my own thing, or do I really put myself in the line 100% to help others, right? So sometimes those things come back to remind us why we're here. But I thought that that was fascinating, because when I was leaving, I paid the guys behind me, and he's paying, and he's getting angry with the lady because his car wasn't getting through. And I'm like, wow, something so simple like that, how we attack others, how we interact with other people and ourselves, can show a lot about what might be happening to us, and we don't even know. So anyways, before I continue with my nonsense, let me just say there are different type of schools. they are there are schools that are in the astral planes that we all know about. We go to the astral planes, we receive a lot of information. We might remember some, or quite a lot, or nothing. And I'll talk about one trick that I do that was given to me by angels to bring the information down to earth so I can remember better. And I'll talk about that a little bit in a couple of minutes. But first, there is the astro school, there is the mystery schools. The mystery schools tend to do a lot with what happens here in Gaia, on earth, the 3D plane, and the spirit animals, the plant kingdom, the elementals, magic work. It's very mysterious magic work, right? The angelic schools is something that a lot of people don't know about, and I think it's because they what, angels, the schools, yeah, there are schools for the angel realm, and normally they tend to be in the 7+ planes, 7 dimension higher. So when you go to the angelic schools, a lot of the times we don't remember much unless you're very well trained to remember, because it's a very high vibration. And sometimes you just wake up knowing that you did something, but you don't remember what. And then we also have other planetary schools. The other planetary schools is where you experience life in other planets, in other places, with other beings. And you're doing that maybe to awaken a part of you that has been forgotten here, because you need it now to bring that energy forward, the lessons forward, for whatever you're getting ready to do for your life here now. So there are astral entities and the spirit guides and all of that, right? So we can see the difference, right? Like, you can see that there might be energies that are simply in the astral planes that may be speaking to you positively or negatively. And you have to pay attention to what happens. Are you getting very angry? Or are you happy? Are you receiving information? Or you're feeling doubtful? And what are they feeding you? Because there is a lot happening here. Normally, when we go to the other planetary schools, and the angelic training is very extremely positive. When you go into the mystery schools, it's all mysterious. You're picking up information to work with energy, to move energy, to understand, to see, to hear, and things like that. So you can easily see the difference, right? If you're doubtful, the very best way that you can ask yourself, are you feeling positive, neutral, or negative about what I experience? And then you get the answer. If it's neutral, it's because you might not still not you don't know yet how to discern the energy. So you still have to go through more training to discern energy. Does that make sense? Like, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so when you're sleeping, there are ways that you can quickly go from sleeping to meditative before you get up. You got to do this before you get up. You cannot have your phone. You cannot have anything but a pen and pencil while you're meditating to pick up this information. And I'm going to show you the little drawing that I did. Let me know if you can see this. This drawing, you have the bed, and you have yourself with your arms like this, and you one leg straight and another one bent like a four, like this, like a number four, like this, touching your other knee. This is very important because this is going to balance your energy. You just went high into the astral plane or higher plane, higher dimensions. And when you do this four with your arms on your chest like this, or you could do this, but your right leg has to be bended like this. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me know if you can see that, please. Because this is important for those that are having issues remembering. If you don't know how to do this, send me an email and I'll break it down even more. But this is almost like doing a number four. And I want you to try this. And you will let me know the results. Because this is a major your body's energy. And when you do this, you're bringing the energy from above and you're anchoring that energy here. This is what the angels told me. So when you do this, you're bringing energy from above, the trainings that you receive to remember here now so that you can easily pick up the major lessons. I hope that makes sense to you. Almost, I went through the like the hangman, but it's not like that exactly because your arms cannot be underneath you. It has to be in the front, and you either do this or you do this, but you have to have both elbows like this. You can put one in your stomach depending on what you're dealing with, and one on your heart, or like this, and on your throat, or like this. But you can know these elbows have to be like this, and your knee has to be the right bended and going to the other knee across it, almost like a 90-degree type of thing. So when you do this, you will remember the dreams. You have to meditate, but this is key for you to pick up, and you have to be laying up on your back, not on your stomach. Hopefully that's clear. You're bringing energy from above to anchor that energy here so that you can remember faster. That's bring a lot of stability from everything that you just experienced above so that your body can remember everything that you experience faster, and you will pick it up right there. And the more you do this, the more information will come even throughout the day. So very, very powerful. It's no, it's a body, it's some, I don't, is that yoga? I don't know if that's yoga, but it's for sleep, for meditation. But you're laying down, you're not sitting up like when people meditate, right? Normal meditation. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is someone emailed me, one of the guys that emailed me about his tata. He said his tata told him that hypnosis can be very dangerous. Yes, we talked about this before. I talked about, I think it was in the last live or the one before, where I talked about how one time I was in the astral planes and the hypnosis therapists, the quantum healing therapists, didn't ask for protection. And I ended up in the astral planes fighting things, dealing with things. So you have to know, you have to pick your practitioners correctly. If you're dealing with issues that are very physical, you might pick one type of practitioner. If you're dealing with something else, you might pick somebody else. Normally, most of the people that come to me are very spiritual. They might be hungry for spirituality, or they're ready in their spiritual path, so that when they come to me, we develop a strong energetic connection. So the first thing that I do is I always ask for protection. Protection is key, because if you don't ask for protection, your spirit team cannot protect you. Your spirit team acts on free will, and they will not do anything, including your higher self, without you asking for it. So you have to intentionally ask for protection in order for you to receive the protection when you go into the astral planes and the higher planes to pick up information. Because when you have a quantum healing hypnosis or a regular past life hypnosis, or just a hypnosis in general, like some people might go to a hypnosis therapy for smoking cigarettes, another one might be for overweight or something like that, you still going through the planes. You still have to, and if those people are just doing this and they're putting you down, you might have an entity that come and says, okay, I see that you like eating, I'm going to come to you now. And they have no idea. I know I'm making it sound like it's fun, but I'm like, oh, let's just chill for a little bit then. But you see, someone that isn't trained will not be able to see those entities, will not feel those entities. So you have to pick your practitioner, whether it is a regular hypnosis therapist or a quantum healing therapist or a past life regression therapist. So, there are different ones that concentrate on specific things. So you have to pick properly, because people think, okay, the moment that I close my eyes, let's say, how they sometimes they do this, and now you're falling asleep. The moment you close your eyes, you're in the astral planes. You know that. So the moments you close your eyes, you are truly going through the veil, and you can go anywhere you want. But if you don't know better and there is an entity, this happens a lot with people that are dealing with addictions, or people that are maybe spiritual, but they are afraid of their spirituality. You close your eyes, you start feeling crazy things. You close your eyes and you're being attacked, and you have sleep paralysis left and right, because you're not asking for protection. You gotta ask for protection. You gotta ask, otherwise you don't get what you need. So he's right. Now the only thing that I don't agree with him is that he's saying that it doesn't work, and I've seen it, how powerful it is. Because when people really connect to the higher self, and we can call in different entities, angel, spirit guides, cosmic and soul family, ancestors, and they come forward, and people are getting real healing. So I do not agree. This is to answer that person's email more openly. I do not agree that it doesn't work, because just like those entities that we don't see can attack, we can see how the mind is so powerful that we have all the answers there, and we can go anywhere to pick up information from different planes in order for us to receive the healing that we need. I hope that makes sense. Let me just go through the comments real quick, and then I think we're going to end this because it's been a long day, right? I thought it was going to be like 30 seconds, 30 minutes. Oh, Daleni says the vibration in the name. Yes, I think that was earlier. The vibration in the name. Oh, yes, like you wolf, right? Like you wolf. That wolf has a beautiful name. I can say it here, but to another person feels like nothing else. I was I was doing a lot of people might not know this. I went through a lot of quantum healing sessions because I needed to ask and experience things. Like I asked things that I knew the answers for, so I can see how the energy moves through me, and things that I didn't necessarily have the answers. So I could see also how the energy moves through me. So when my clients are on there, I can understand them, right? So I'm asking in one of the quantum healing sessions, I think it was something about, I don't remember what it was. And the DNA that I received, I pronounced it by my practitioner that I was ignoring her question. And I'm like, that is the name. I listened to the recording, and I'm like, that was the name. But she didn't know that was a name. She didn't think that would have been considered a name. So when you tap into that vibration, you can pronounce it from your throat. If you have this energy center open, you can tap into any language, and ask for the name. And if you connect to the vibration, you will be able to say it from this throne. In terms of the ancient, I'm talking about the ancient and other planetary languages. Okay, so thank you, Ashley. Let's see. I think I read some of these things. I'm not sure what you mean, Janelle. You can email me in terms of what type of appointment you're looking for. And yeah, just email me. That will be the best. All right, guys, thank you so much. I am so grateful for your time here. And if you have any additional comments, put it in the comments area so others can see it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.